Hello and welcome to Southern Scream Queens. I am Danielle.
And I'm Hazel.
And you guys are probably confused if you watched our old podcast, Two Girls, One Screen, because we already uploaded these episodes, but we want to add them on here so that if you haven't seen them or if you have, you can get caught up or re-caught up because we're going to continue that series here. So if you hear things in that episode, because I'm not going to go through the whole entire thing, but if you hear us referencing Two Girls, One Screen, that
Ignore
is
it.
defunct now. We're on this one, and we don't want to lose those episodes because they're so good. Okay, enjoy us from the past. We are going to be reviewing and recapping TV shows and movies, and the first on our list is American Horror Story Murder House.
First of all, do we want to include the trigger warning just in case?
Yes.
So there is like a brief discussion of preserved fetal / human / animal material, and there is some self-harm also included.
Just a lot of like murder.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's called Murder House.
So we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right.
So by listening to this, you subscribe to the fact that you're going to hear that.
The very first episode, it starts with the first scene. It is set in 1978. There's a little girl with short black hair wearing a yellow dress that I thought was so stinking cute. It's got the little white polka dots on it.
She's adorable.
She's just standing outside of a grown-up mansion, and the two little redheaded boys walk up.
And they start being really mean to her.
First off, they just are like, "Hey, freak."
Little assholes.
Yeah. And she's just so sweet and turns around and is like, excuse me, you're gonna die in there.
And I'm so glad she said that.
Yeah, like she was warning them. She didn't want them to go in there and die, but I mean, they didn't listen.
If they'd have been bullying me, I would have said, "Go on."
Yeah, go on.
Get up them steps.
Oh my gosh. So they are like throwing rocks into the windows, just being little shitheads.
They're like taking bats and hitting the light fixtures, the TVs, destroying the house.
Yeah, and before they go in there, they're like, "Shut up or we're going to kick your ass." We have bats. That's what it said.
Have you ever seen that house, like a picture of it in real life?
No.
It has an extra room on the side, and somehow they have perfectly hidden that from the camera. And it always fascinates me.
So is this real? This is a real house?
Yes.
On this side?
Yeah. There's like a whole other part of a house there, and it's just gone.
It is so pretty, too.
Mm-hmm. While they're in there destroying the house, they're hitting poppets on the ground.
Yes.
That pisses me off.
Yes.
I wanted to take them
I
from
also wrote in my notes, I was like, annoying popping noises.
And then they come up on a freshly dead possum.
Yes. So we see it breathe a little bit, and then you see the blood pooling around it, kind of seeping out a little bit. The door behind them kind of creaks open a little bit, so they start to head.
And it's the door to the basement.
Yeah.
And first of all, I wouldn't go down there.
No.
Because whatever killed that is probably went down that
Obviously,
basement steps, and you're just going to go.
And you can tell even that one of the twins is kind of nervous.
I think it's
the green shirt, right?
The Brian one, because he's always yelling for Troy.
Yeah, you're right.
By the way, their names are Brian and Troy, the little little shithead twins.
Once they get down into the basement, they only have a flashlight. It's pretty dark in there, and they're just shining it around, and they start to see shelves with jars. And it has preserved things in them
that I want really bad.
Yeah.
Tell them what your notes say.
I put, only weirdos have preserved dead animals in jars, and Danielle has some in her home.
Literally walking into that basement was like walking into my house.
Yeah. First thing I saw was a baby leg, and then there was an ear with some of the skin still on there, a baby pig,
and an axolot. There's also a lot of doctor tools.
Yes.
Too.
And they're bloody.
Little boy, like he walked up and he broke the specimen on the ground.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "It smells in here. It smells like shit."
Yeah.
Girl, you just broke something. You broke formaldehyde.
Yeah.
It's all over the ground. And it was a dead, like, once living thing. It's gonna stink.
Yep.
Why are...
Yep. As soon as he did that, he's like, "It stinks in here." And I was like, okay.
You're the one that stunk it up. And also your attitude stinks it up.
Yep. Did you catch that they were like, "It smells like the raccoon that we put in the chimney"?
No.
Or something like that? Yeah, that's what they compared it to. So, like, they're little...
Little assholes.
Yeah. They start to leave or whatever, and you hear the little annoying popping noises again, so they're throwing them little poppers.
And then they just stop.
Yeah.
Our prayers were answered.
I think it was Brian, right? Is he the scaredy cat?
Brian was the one that was like
'cause Troy's
looking for Troy.
Okay.
Troy was the one with the poppet.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Troy, where are you?
Yeah.
And then he finds Troy.
Yeah.
And he's on the ground with a cut.
Just a chunk out of his neck or something. It barely showed it for a second. I had to replay it a couple times to understand, like, was his throat slit or was, like, a chunk bit out of him? I couldn't hardly tell.
I was just thinking, like, if that was me and I was in, like, an abandoned house, I'm just in there, like, I ain't got nowhere else to go and I'm taking a nap, and this little shithead's walking around with a poppet, I'm grabbing him by the neck, too.
Yeah.
You're interrupting my nap time. We gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. What is the
creature?
Thing? I literally put in my notes that it was like an old hag looking thing. I had no idea what the heck that was.
It looks like a baby face with an adult body wearing like a white baby dress.
Yeah,
it's
like
weird.
A nightgown, and it had blood on it.
And then he attacks Brian.
Yeah, and then it says today.
Yep,
it's now in the future.
This was in 2011.
I think so. Yeah, 33 years.
Okay. So we're now 33 years later. We can assume that this is taking place in 2011. So then we have Vivian at the gynecologist. We meet Vivian, and she's talking. The doctor's like, is your period come back? And she says no. And that she's okay with it because all that blood. And then she has to say, Ben doesn't like blood. This is just a future note. I don't give a fuck what Ben likes. I don't care. Yeah,
there's a reason why he doesn't like it.
Well, he can kiss my ass.
Also, did you catch that she is, like, suggesting that something happened to her body and it was, like, traumatic to her?
Mm-hmm. We don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, we don't know what it is yet.
And he also, I made a note of this, which is just stupid because I just don't like Ben. But the doctor was like, are you having trouble with arousal? And she says, not when I'm by myself. Girl, make him get out of the house then. What is he doing in there?
For real, though. I don't understand why she stayed with him.
And he... Don't even get me started. Get me started later. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Doctor tries to give her hormones.
Yeah, and she's like, I love natural things. I'm basically not going to take this. You know, she's just
girl,
one of those
get
people.
the medicine.
Yeah. And so then it pans to her standing in the kitchen with the medicine in her hand. So she took it.
I don't like that beret she has on.
You didn't like that?
I don't like that.
I thought that was so cute.
And she never wears anything like it again that I'm aware of.
You're right.
So was she making a fashion choice and then the beret was bad luck following what's going to happen? That's why she never wore it again.
It was red.
I thought it was pink.
Was it?
I don't know. It was one of the colors.
Colorblind.
You were right. It is
definitely red.
Update, it is red. It was not pink. But still, I hate it.
I thought it was so cute and it looked good with her red hair. As
Vivian is putting down her grocery bags, she starts hearing some stuff. And I have a couple notes on this. She calls the police. Okay, smart. Mm-hmm. Good. Because she expects that her husband is at work, I'm assuming. And her daughter's at school.
Nobody is home. She's home alone.
Okay, so she did the right thing.
Yeah.
She then grabs a knife and starts heading up them stairs. First of all, I understand that it's snowing. We can see it's snowing.
But get your ass outside. Back on and get back outside. You're going to be warm.
Get outside. Why are you going up there?
That's why the white person always dies in the horror movies.
Literally.
They go to it.
So as she's going up there with the knife, she enters in. What does she find?
She finds her husband having sex. But it doesn't say with who, and it doesn't hint to who the person is at all at this point. So all you see is her coming back out. She's got the knife in her hand going down the hallway. Ben, her husband, is hollering at her, and she turns around and slashes him in the arm.
First of all, she had a knife in her hand. Mm-hmm. Get in that bed and kill them both. What do you mean you just walked in? Because she even says later she's seen him pile driving her.
Yeah.
What is that, by the way?
I honestly have no idea.
You see that? You are in a perfect position right now to just take them both out.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah. Get in the bed right with them.
Mm-hmm.
She's a better woman than I am.
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong.
But she does cut his arm.
Yes.
But was it on purpose?
Oh, yeah. She turned around and she slashed him.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
Good, I hate him. Good. She should have aimed for the face.
Yeah, she shows some anger there. I mean, it kind of ramps up a little bit, but...
And then we have the intro. The
yes,
famous
the song.
Intro, the famous song.
It creeps me out so good.
And after all of the seasons of American Horror Story, that one is still my favorite intro.
They're in a car. Vivian, Ben, and their daughter, and they got a little white dog. They're in a vehicle on the freeway.
A little crusty dog.
Yeah. What was the dog in this, I wonder?
She didn't have the dog.
Okay.
We get into that in a little bit, because that's where the infamous line from Ben comes from. I needed you, and you got a dog.
Gosh. Yeah, you're right.
Girl, shut up. Oh my God. That's when we're introduced to Violet, which is their teenage daughter. Ben tries to hold Vivian's hand, like, as they're driving, and pushes
it
him
away, don't she?
I love that for her.
Same. Wasn't really a whole lot that happened in the car. I know that they joked about, like, why they named her Violet and that they almost named her Sunshine.
Yeah.
But she's kind of gloomy. You know, I guess that was just a jab at her being gloomy.
Looking at the house, Marcy is the realtor, and she's from Desperate
It's Mrs.
Housewives.
Yes, I knew it. I knew you would notice that. But I want to point out that if you have ever watched this, it jumps around so much. Mm-hmm. There's not one constant thing for more than a couple minutes. There's so many different cuts back and forth because there's so many different characters that are introduced in this first episode.
Which is a little bit crazy if you, because I feel like a lot of TV shows, they try to make you, like, build a relationship with the characters that you see in the first season. Which, I mean, we do kind of get all of them almost.
I honestly think that that's a hint at hurry up and get to know them.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you never know how long they're going to be here.
Exactly, because it's Murder House.
How long they've already been here.
Exactly.
Marcy says that the house is built in the 1920s for the Doctor to the Stars at the time.
Yes, the Doctor to the Stars. I thought that was interesting that she said it that way.
And I'm excited to learn about said doctor.
Same. And then Ben brings up that he's a psychiatrist, and he tells the realtor that he plans to see the clients inside the house.
Which, honestly, okay, forgive me, but I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it's because the wife doesn't trust him.
That's a really good point.
I think that's
why. And we learn why later.
Mm-hmm.
That's you're onto something. I didn't think of that. You're onto something. We kind of learn.
Oh, yeah, you learn that.
Why, in a minute, why he doesn't want them in his home, or why he shouldn't have, but...
He's not a very good psychiatrist, by the way.
No, he's not. He's not a good person. Stable. He's not a good man, not a good husband, not a good father. Nothing. He's not good... I hate Ben Harmon. Yeah. I hate Ben Harmon. The dog barks to go to the basement.
And it's Hallie. Her name is Hallie.
I think that's kind of cute.
So
I
cute.
love dogs with human
white
names.
Yeah.
I love it.
But she is a yapping. It even said in the subtitles, it was a yapping dog. That's what it said.
And the subtitles.
Yeah.
And then Violet goes down with the dog.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Like, I would have said, Hallie, let's
she
go.
ain't scared of nothing. That's what she keeps saying.
I have a note later that I think Violet is cringy.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I don't...
She's also a little teenager.
And I try to give grace for that, but I'm just like, when I think back about myself as a teenager, I want to blow my brains out. Because I was worse than Violet Harmon, more than likely.
Yeah, if anybody looks back at, like, MySpace or our old, oh my lord, those old Facebook posts. And, you know, this cracks me up even thinking about that, because in my notes, you know, the XD, I wrote that next to the note about your preserved jars.
You give an emoji on a piece of paper.
I did.
And also, while Violet is down there, the camera looks as if she's being watched by someone.
Yeah, behind some little, like, banister type things. And then we hear that Vivian is a musician, a cellist. Very classy.
Yeah, okay. She is a very classy lady.
She really is.
She carries herself with grace.
So pretty.
But she should have stabbed that bitch.
Yeah.
Both them bitches.
Oh, yeah.
I would have showed them what my cellist fingers could do. Marcy's like, full disclosure.
Now I have to tell you
I have to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Vivian is like, oh, God, they didn't die in here. She's like, yeah. Murder-suicide.
They did. Yeah.
Murder-suicide in the basement.
Yeah. And right before that happened, there was also a little peeling up wallpaper. And that she kind of changed the subject there with the whole they died in here. But Vivian went to pull up the paper that was kind of peeling a little bit, and you could see that there was a mural under there. So that's a running theme in this episode too, is the mural behind the wallpaper.
Yeah, it comes up a lot. My first thing that made me say that Violet is cringy is because she's like, where did it happen? Or did Violet say where did it happen? And then Marcy's like, in the basement, and she's like, we'll take it. Girl, shut up, you're not the adult.
Yeah, man. But then they're
like, okay, she rules the house, we're just gonna listen to her.
She is the boss.
But we learned later that the house was at a great value for what they paid for it.
Yeah, I think he said something about like four times.
Yeah, it was like a lot.
Or something.
It's just kind of an insignificant scene.
Okay.
But Ben and Vivian are in the bedroom, and she's asking him like, "Does this house not freak you out, knowing what happened?" And that's whenever he says, "Well, we got it for a steal."
Yeah.
And then also he makes a remark that he's like, "This is our fresh start. This is our second chance for the shit we've been through." Do you mean what you put her through? What
you put her through.
Is that what you mean? Let me correct you. Because I understand that there was something that happened we don't know yet.
Yes.
But you cheated on her.
Yes.
And she
didn't deserve that.
No.
It doesn't matter what she did.
I just remembered something.
What?
The dog would have been there. You know how you said, "Where's the dog?"
Yeah.
It would have been there because he
where the hell
done
was the
that
dog?
because of the dog.
Yeah.
See, that's an inconsistency on their part, and we just cracked it. Ryan Murphy, I know
Where's them little tip tappies of the little yappy dog?
Yeah.
Like, where are they?
She barks any other time. Why is she not barking here? Why wasn't she at the door barking?
She barked at a ghost, but she ain't gonna be,
She ain't gonna be barking at her daddy in there with some other woman?
Right, surely. Oh, wait, unless the woman's been there before and she's comfortable.
Or he put the dog in the dryer, and that's why she looks crazy.
She's pretty fluffy. So we're back in the courtyard of the high school. Violet's walking through, smoking a cig. And then the three little cliquey girls come up. And did you notice who one of them was?
No.
It was Maya from Pretty Little Liars.
Really? What?
It was Maya.
Hold on a minute. It is Maya.
It's Maya. Yeah.
Oh my God. And do you know that she's like a 30-year-old woman?
Yeah, man. And she looks 15.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
How do you look that young? Give me your secret.
Who knows? I bet she even still looks like that. And this was like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Probably. Look at her. Oh my God, she's
Beautiful.
so pretty.
See, does that not look like Melissa too, though? I do know that girl, the girl, Violet, she is related to one of the people from The Conjuring.
Mm-hmm. That's her. And I think that's
sisters.
They're sisters, and it's weird because she's at least like 30 years older than her.
Yeah.
It's like your parents were
I thought that was her mom.
They were still fucking and them that
man.
old? It's a change of life, baby, probably.
That's crazy.
My great-grandmother had one of those.
Oh,
like, my grandmother was a full adult, and she had a baby.
Having siblings.
And then my grandmother also had a baby at the same time. She had a grandchild.
A grandbaby and a baby.
And a baby.
The same age. That is insane.
They're fighting because the bully, her name is Lee. She's the only really important one. Besides Maya. We love Maya.
Yeah. And she does stop her.
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Come on.
But we learned that she's upset because Violet is smoking, and then she puts the cigarette out and she throws it on the ground. And then that girl's still not happy. She's like, "Oh, now you're going to litter?"
Yeah.
And
then she's like, "I want to see you eat it."
Yeah, she tries to make her eat the cigarette. What is that doing?
What is it doing?
Like...
So you're mad because of a secondhand smoke, but now you want the person to eat the thing. Violet spits in her face and runs away.
I love that.
I love it. She's laughing. I don't know if you noticed that, but Violet, she turns around and she is laughing that she spit in her face.
She was getting a kick out of it, but it's like good.
Yeah,
she attacked you for no reason.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's Violet's hair is what mine's going to look like when it grows out, because me and her kind of have the same...
I love it.
Choppy.
The color, too. The color will look good. I like it.
We almost have the same hair color.
Yeah.
Not after I broke out the black hair dye. After I aggravated
you did that.
everybody to death.
It was a year of getting rid of the black.
It was 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
But I like it.
I love the black on you. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't wait for you to do yours.
Yeah, it'll be a couple weeks, but
I'm excited.
So we're back at the house, and Vivian is messing with that little peely wallpaper, and she's pulling it up. It only flashes for a second, but there is a dismembered person on that mural. Do you see that?
No,
the arm is literally chopped off. Are we going to talk about how creepy that is that she's just standing there staring at her too?
Yeah, as Violet's pulling down the wallpaper. Not Violet, I keep saying
Vivian.
Violet. They need too many V's.
Yeah.
They should have named her Sunshine.
They probably did it on purpose. You know how people are.
Well, I can't say nothing because I'm Danielle and Damien.
Yeah.
My dad, Danny.
Yeah, you did it. You're one of them.
But as Vivian is pulling down the wallpaper, Adelaide is just behind her.
Yeah, and so we didn't actually learn what Adelaide's name was until now,
Adelaide is the little girl from the beginning in the little cute yellow
Yes,
dress.
in
She's
the
also
little
wearing
dress.
yellow here,
I
too.
know. She was wearing a little yellow cardigan, and I think that was just to show
That's her.
that's her.
She's like,
Yeah.
she didn't change clothes for...
But she's just grown up now.
But also, that was... Hold on a minute. 33
ago.
years.
And she had to be at least 8 or something like that.
So she's 40-something now?
Crazy.
Doesn't look
There's
like
something
it.
about that.
It's
There's gotta
weird.
be.
It's weird.
But yeah, Adelaide is standing there just staring at Vivian as she's pulling up that wallpaper. And then we hear somebody coming through the hallway. Adelaide, where are you at?
But
Basically.
before that, Adelaide tells Vivian that she's going to die in the house.
You're right.
Yeah, she's like, you're going to die in here. And
Yeah.
that's what...
has her
when
turn
Vivian
around,
turns around, she's like, what the fuck are
Why
you
are
doing?
you in my house? Yeah.
How'd you get in
Who are
here?
you?
And then we get introduced to Constance. We learn that
Jessica
Constance
Lange.
is... Oh my god, I love Jessica
Oh my
Lange. Like, in
goodness.
anything she does...
She's beautiful.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm so sad that she's not in this season, this series anymore.
I know.
But
She makes it, honestly. I think she's
It's not been the
one of
same.
no.
since she's gone away. But the whole time she's talking about Addie, she's talking about her as if she's a monster. She literally calls her a monster. She's just very mean about
Yeah.
Addie. Like, she doesn't care about her, and she's like, oh, I'm just taking care of you because I have to.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad.
It is sad. And just for anybody that doesn't know, Addie has Down syndrome.
Yes.
In a way, you can see later that she is very protective of her. So I don't know if it's like, hey, that's my family, I can talk shit, you can't.
She also tells Vivian that Addie will always find her way into that house, no matter what you do. And she says she has, quote, a bug up her ass about that house.
Yeah.
Always has.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting.
Maybe she has some sort of like special gift that she knows because she warned people before they go in that they're going to die in there.
Yep. I didn't think about it like that.
Yep.
I
And
was
then
thinking-
she also sees the ghosts.
Also, the
Oh.
ghosts, like, always, they can pick and choose who to show themselves to.
Yeah.
But it seems like they don't have that option with her. Which is kind of what you're saying. Like, she just kind of always sees them.
Yeah. Constance is like, you have a little dog?
You have a little crunchy dog I can
she calls it a
babysit.
mongrel. She said mongrels are also welcome at my house. She has like a kennel, a dog kennel inside her house.
She
The
says
whole
she
time.
prefers purebreds.
Yeah. That she
What does that
admires
even
the
mean?
lineage or something like that. And I don't know, that creeped me out kind of because she's Southern also, and
Oh,
you know what
my
they're known for.
God.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
that could have
that-
been a stab at that. I don't know.
I didn't think of it like that, but I think you're onto something.
Yeah, man. And then did you notice that as soon as Vivian turned around, Constance is like, you have nice stuff, and then she slips some of the silverware into her pocket.
Yeah. She walks real close to Vivian and is like, oh my god, your earrings are so beautiful,
Yes.
which that's important for later.
Yeah.
And she's saying like, oh, did your husband buy them for you?
They always do when you're young and pretty.
Yeah, and it's like, and you can see that strikes a chord with Vivian. That's whenever we learn that Constance is from the South because Vivian asked her, and she's
Yeah,
like,
she's a proud
Virginian,
Virginian.
thank you.
And I moved here to be a movie star.
But she didn't want to do nudity. And then she gives Vivian a gift of a little box full of sage.
She said to get rid of the bad juju, and that she should burn the sage to get rid of the spirits, and then she leaves. Starts to burn the sage,
Yeah.
and she automatically goes to the attic.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed this, but that attic pull, the handle, looked like a Morena.
Oh my goodness, it did. What the heck?
And then while she's up in the attic, she finds the infamous leather. Is it a gimp
It's rubber.
suit?
It's a black
Oh
rubber.
yeah, it is
thing.
rubber. I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I put leather too at first because I thought, but then
Yeah,
it is rubber.
It's like a latex rubber, like, and
Yes.
that just seems, you know,
squeaky.
to put those
horrible.
on, they have to like cover
You know that took a
themselves in
year.
baby powder and like,
Yeah, but she screams.
and everybody comes running.
Yeah, Ben comes up. He hears her scream, and he says he would look good in that. Did you catch that?
No, ooh.
Yeah.
You would
he
look good in a
that.
grave, honey. You ain't gonna look good in nothing else. It also didn't look like that suit that he threw away. It just looked like he like cut up a rubber glove or
yeah.
like a black rubber glove and threw it away. It was not.
It didn't look
I
the
don't
same.
know.
Shows Ben is taking a client inside the house, being the psychiatrist.
And it's introduced to our man Tate.
It's Tate Langdon. Okay,
Evan
so
Peters.
he is talking about these fantasies that he's had for 2 years, and they're always the same.
And it's always He's in like a... I'm sorry. But now, I love the fit.
Okay, I love it too.
I love the fit. And I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I love it. He's got this skull face paint, and he's walking through a school of people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show him doing anything.
No.
But he alludes
right now,
to the
this
fact...
is just a fantasy. Like, maybe they're almost like a dream to him. He remembers it. It's like a memory to him.
And then he's like, I want to hurt people. I hurt people I like.
Yeah.
Weird.
That was weird. I caught that too. And did you hear like the Kill Bill whistle that's happening while he's walking down the hall?
Oh, I didn't even think. I know that
it's
song.
The Kill Bill.
I love that whistle.
Oh, I hate it.
Really?
I hate it. The movie Kill Bill, like what the whistle's happening, like when that's happening is a horrible scene of every single time. I hate it.
Also, just a little fun fact, they got sued for using that skull. They were sued because there was a man that has those actual tattoos on his face. He has since passed away. He was a model. He was in Lady Gaga's Born This Way music video. Okay. You remember that? Has the same exact tattoos on his face, and he claimed that they ripped off his look, which is a little crazy. Also, I will say this was around the time that guy was blowing up in the media. So I can kind of understand why he would say that. And I mean, you know, get your bag if you want to sue and do whatever. Whatever. But nickname was Zombie Boy, and his whole body was like that. But also, like, I mean, you can't. That's like if me and you have the same tattoo.
I'm not gonna sue you.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
That's stupid.
It's a little crazy. But also, it could have been. I should do further research before I run my mouth. But it could be because they were depicting Tate later on. We see as with this face paint as doing bad things while his face is like that. So I can kind of understand
like a defamation type of thing?
Like if he was like offended at the fact that you're making somebody look exactly like me and you're making them do crazy things.
Yeah.
That could be why.
I could see that. Okay, that's fair.
But also if he's just like, you ripped off my look, you're reaching.
Yeah.
It's just a skull tattoo.
Come on. Okay, so after that, Violet's in the bathroom. And she is cutting herself.
Yep. Tate is watching her.
Yeah, he's in the mirror. She's like kind of surprised. And he's like, you're doing it wrong. If you really want to kill yourself, do it vertically. They can't stitch it up.
And then she's like, how'd you get in here? And he's like, well, also, if you want to kill yourself, maybe lock the door.
I was like,
sassy Tate era.
So sassy.
It's now nighttime, and Ben is asleep, and he wakes up to these whispers.
And he's butt naked.
He is butt naked, lighting the fireplace.
Who in their right mind is a grown-ass man with a teenager in the home sleeping butt naked?
No, there's no way.
That is so disrespectful. Come on, man.
And especially... And I'm not saying that it's okay if he would have been a boy. It's a teenage girl as well.
Yes.
And that's just weird.
Come on. He had walked downstairs or walked through a hallway, and he turned like a little gas knob, and it made it seem, I don't know if you caught this or not, but it made it seem like he was trying to burn the house down.
That's what I thought at first, because I hadn't seen that episode in a long time. But then he throws
a match into the fireplace, and the fireplace lights up. But whenever he lit that match, it didn't show the fireplace at first.
It also, like, having gas in your home scares me to death.
Yeah, but it is an old house.
True, but I just could not. I would say we're going to have to convert, because I cannot do that. Absolutely. I'd be terrified. And then it's now the next day, we're assuming. Also, I just want to note, and I have this later, and we'll talk about it more in depth, but there is no timeline for, like, what is going on, how much time has passed. I was going to
bring that up, too, because at some points, it's like weeks had passed.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And it's like we had no idea. Yeah, especially for the last end of the episode.
That's when I was going to bring it up, too.
Okay. Vivian is outside putting her sheets up on the clothesline, and we are introduced to Moira
O'Hara.
Sweet Moira.
Little old lady. Little redheaded lady.
Yep, that's very important to note that it is an older lady.
She's old with a white eye.
Yes, like one of her eyes is damaged. And she says that she's the housekeeper. And then Vivian is like, we don't need you.
There's a perfectly good dryer inside. Why are you hanging your sheets outside? Again, she's a naturalist. She doesn't like the chemicals.
No.
But then she uses Murphy's oil.
Listen, she's those people that whenever they walk past you, you don't want to smell their air.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're all natural.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, just use the fabric softener. Use the Downy.
Yeah.
Smell good. Because listen, okay, I just want to say, this is not me talking shit on my mom, but whenever I was younger, she loved doing the clothesline thing. Not because she doesn't like chemicals. The smell that it gets on clothes whenever you put them outside is not a good smell.
I hate the smell of outside. I don't care what you say. You smell weird. If you just walk outside for a second, you sweat for a second, even if you're not that sweaty, you come back in, you smell like outside. I don't know what that smell is, but I don't like it.
She does need the housekeeper. Just let her put those sheets in the dryer, please, Vivian. For everybody's sake.
Yeah.
Let her put them in the dryer.
She wants to come inside because she doesn't have a phone to call a cab. So she's like, can I come inside to call a cab?
Mm-hmm. Before that, though, she tells Vivian that she doesn't want to, quote, mistreat that house. And then she also says something about, like, regretting things. And in my notes, I put that every single person in this TV show needs a no regrets tattoo. Because that's all they talk about. Is like, you don't want to, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that gave me chills.
We forgot to mention that. And that was like my favorite part of that whole first Adelaide scene. She says that she will regret it if she mistreats the house, if she disrespects it. Vivian has her in, she can have the phone. Vivian's like, I don't mean to gossip. I do. Tell me. I ain't gonna tell nobody, but I want to know.
Yeah, I need to know the tea.
I need to know. She says that she found the bodies of the previous owners. She cleaned up the mess.
And you would never know.
And then Ben walks in, and we see this weird switch of a character swap. Because when Ben sees Moira, she is this young beautiful lady in a skimpier maid outfit.
It's more like a Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
Well, not even just Halloween, but like lingerie almost.
Mm-hmm. It pretty much is lingerie. She got that from the purple store on 80.
Yeah. On 80.
Her eye's not white.
Yes.
It's not a ghost eye anymore.
Yes.
And then my note for this whole thing is that Ben is a creep.
Yeah, he checked eyeballing
her.
Moira gets up to go to the bathroom, and it literally panned down of him checking her out.
Like,
not in front of your wife.
Have some respect.
Yeah.
God, I hate him.
Same.
I hate him.
Gosh. Vivian's like, I think we should hire her. And Ben is like shocked. He's like, I mean, are you sure? Because
which also shows that he knows what his intentions are.
Yeah.
You know that he
knows what he's doing.
God, I hate him.
He's like, he literally, if he would have said what he was thinking, he would have said, okay, so after I just cheated on you, you want to hire a beautiful maid? And he said, that's why I love you or something like that?
Yeah, he's like, you surprised me.
Yeah.
And then immediately tries to have sex with her.
Because he just got turned on by Moira.
Yep. Also says something to Vivian that, like, she's going to have to forgive him. And it's like, she does not have to do anything, Ben.
Mm-mm.
You messed up y'all's life.
Ew, and it's literally not been that long. Like, this just happened. You just moved into this home. So Ben and Tate are having another session. Ben asks Tate, are you taking your medication?
And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, I've been taking the medication. He says something about not being able to sleep.
And light sensitivity.
Yeah, light sensitivity, yeah. And so Ben's like, are you sure you're having light sensitivity? And then, but he's basically saying, you're lying to me. You're not taking the medicine.
Yeah.
And Tate catches on that he is accusing him of lying. And Ben's like, well, light sensitivity is not a side effect of Lexapro. So you're lying to me.
Mm-hmm. And then I like what Tate does back. He's like, so you lied to me? Ben, of course, is just like, okay. And?
Yeah, like I'm the professional. You mean nothing.
So my note just says it's a liar versus a liar.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is.
And then Tate is like, I wanted my dick to work. That's why I didn't take the medicine.
And he says that
because he's met someone.
And we see that Violet is watching from the doorway.
Yep.
He also says he didn't want his big dick not to work. Why'd you have to say that?
Yeah.
You couldn't have just, like, you had to tell her. She'll find out eventually. Now they're hanging out.
Yep.
And they're showing off their self-harm scars.
Yeah. And then they're telling each other, like, why they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And Violet tells them why they moved there.
She tells all their family business.
And only months before that, Vivian had a miscarriage.
Yes, now we learn what all the blood was and why.
What the trauma was that happened to her body.
She also says that the baby was 7 months along and they had to have a macabre funeral.
Yeah.
Did you see that Tate gets up randomly and just goes and writes taint on her chalkboard?
I did not see that.
Yeah, he just writes the word taint. And also, I hate his outfit.
Is it still the stripy shirt?
No, I love the stripy shirt.
What is it?
Hold on, we're going to skip. See,
You
it's like
hate it?
It's
like
see,
a
right here
green-
he's writing taint.
Okay, yeah. It's like a puke green sweater. Why did he
But
do
the
that?
reason I hate it, I'm gonna pause it.
Oh my
What is he?
gosh.
What is that? What is that? Like, the costume department did him dirty.
Like, the sweater's not bad, but then he's got like a blue t-shirt on and then a button up
Hanging
with like 5
out.
inches hanging out
Yeah.
the bottom of the sweater. And
Like,
it's not
I
even buttoned.
I like the color of the sweater. I
Yeah.
love baby shit green.
Yeah, I kind of liked it like when he was turned around and then he turned back around and that's hanging out of the bottom.
Did him dirty. They
Yeah.
gave him that outfit
Horrible.
before with the green striped shirt. I love that.
Yeah.
Giving SpongeBob. But then look at this. Look at this. What is this?
Ben comes in and tells Tate, get the fuck out,
Yeah.
basically. What are you doing in here?
And then Tate is like, you know that thing you said I was afraid of, fear and rejection? And then he leaves.
Yeah, and he is pissed. I mean, he's running down those stairs.
He has a
and he's saying,
tantrum.
destroy.
Like, you're having
Like
you're
he's a
having
psycho.
a Tate tantrum. This scene makes me so mad. It makes me furious.
About Moira and Ben?
Yes.
Okay.
So Ben comes out of the bathroom and he's in a towel. He was getting ready to get in the shower. We can hear the water running.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know where my razors are? And he doesn't wait for a response. He just immediately turns around and goes into a random bedroom.
Yeah.
And
Why would
little
your
Miss
razors be in there?
Moira, the young Moira,
Mm-hmm.
is in there diddling her puss. And it's like, girl, go home and do that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that right in front of God and everybody? You were in a client's home. That made me so mad. But it's clear she was trying to seduce Ben.
Yeah.
It was very clear that's what she was doing. So, you know, whatever. He literally goes to jack off.
Yeah.
Did he not finish his shower?
I don't think he ever did because that's when he hears somebody say, your family's in danger.
He's also jacking off in front of the window.
In the window, yeah.
On top of a table. Did you see
Yeah,
it?
that was so weird. Why did
You
they do
couldn't
that?
get in the bed. You couldn't go to the bathroom. You're going to stand in broad daylight out a window.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then we hear,
Your family is in danger.
and then he looks out the window and this guy who is like half burnt up on the side of his
Burnt
body,
up.
standing there like Michael Myers in the clotheslines.
Yeah.
And then Ben goes down there and now he's got clothes on.
Yeah. That
Because
was
he
so
was
fast.
fully
I mean,
naked.
yeah.
He goes down there, the guy's gone.
Then it pans to Vivian. She's putting away the groceries and she hears the annoying popping noise.
Yep.
And then she hears Addie laughing. Then there's Addie just standing there. And Vivian's like, what are you doing? Why are you in my house? Addie is laughing in the creepiest way. Like, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but she was like uncontrollably like dying laughing.
Yeah.
And it's because there's
All
dead
the
twins
cabinets are open.
standing behind Vivian.
Yeah, she sees like those twins behind her. They also, both of the twins are bloody.
Yeah.
And then my whole thing is like, Vivian is now accusing Addie of opening all those cabinets.
Yeah. But
Some
she can't
of
see the
them-
ghosts.
No, but
Addie's the only
she's
other one
the
there.
only person there. So she's like, you opened all these cabinets. Vivian, when you come into the house, none of the cabinets were open. You're going to tell me in the time that it took you to sit those bags down that Addie, who is a little short, got up on those tall cabinets and opened every single one of them,
All of them.
in 15 seconds and you didn't hear her?
Yep.
Be for real. Ben and Vivian and Addie and Constance are all in the kitchen.
You know, it's so weird. I just want to say that Constance always pops up when Addie is in there, but why does she never know where Addie's at? Like, she pops up after Addie's already gone.
I think it's because like when Addie gets missing, Constance is like, "Well, I know
She's
where
at
she
that
is.
house. Okay,
I know
that
where
makes
I know
sense.
where she's
Okay.
at." Vivian is accusing Addie of doing it, and then Addie says it was the twins, and Constance is like, "Shh." Vivian and Ben didn't question why they shushed her. If you would have done that in front of me, I would have said, tell me, why are you shushing her? What is she talking about? What are you talking about the twins?
Yeah.
Also, I would have got on Google when they
Same.
left, and I would have Googled twins and my address at my
Because
this
you
house.
already know somebody died there.
Yeah,
Why not look into it anyway? Why wouldn't you have already done that?
Vivian is being a little bit mean
Yeah.
in this scene, and she is telling Addie, "Don't come in my house."
And she grabbed her face.
Yeah,
And you can see in the background, Constance did not like that.
in this scene, I am on Constance's side
Same. I was applauding her.
because if you grab my baby's face like that, I'm going to break your arm too.
Yeah.
You're
and
not
that's what
gonna-
Constance said.
I know.
Before she leaves, she said, if you ever touch my kid again, I will break your arm.
And this, before she leaves, this is a scene I wanted to talk about earlier, where Addie keeps asking to pet the dog, and Vivian's like, no. So she asks again. Vivian's like, no. And that's when she grabs her face, because she's like, you're not paying attention to what I'm trying to tell you. When she goes to leave, Addie tries to pet the dog, and the dog bites her.
Yeah.
And Addie says she shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. But every time she warns something, something happens. We know that.
And it's also like, I'm just going to say my theory, and I know that we'll get into it in a few episodes from now, but...
Is something protecting Addie?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, Addie knows that there's something in that house that's going to protect her, no matter what. And also, when Vivian grabs her face, I felt sorry for Addie, because you can tell that, like, it scared her.
Yeah.
It scared her pretty good, and it's like, you don't do that.
No.
Don't grab the baby's face. I don't care if she's a 40-year-old woman. You don't put your hands on her.
Yeah, because we have to remember she has Down syndrome, so even if she's physically 40, she might not be mentally 40.
No. In that scene, I did not like Vivian.
Same.
But I understand that she doesn't want the little girl in her house.
Yeah.
I get it.
Ben is on the phone trying to report Tate for being a dangerous individual.
Now he wants to report him. Because he told him
he wasn't going to because he didn't think that he was a danger. But now that he likes his daughter,
now he's a danger.
He's like, know enough about Tate, so he's not able to actually report him.
He doesn't know his social.
No.
Nothing. And then Moira comes in as he's been put on hold. This little bitch.
Yeah.
Comes in to clean. And again, she tries to seduce Ben.
Yeah.
And she's like literally on top of him.
On top of him, yeah.
And
Violet walks in.
Yep.
And she sees... What was that? Is that Otis? I thought that was Mikey.
Mikey's just literally in there dying. It's that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward gets the fork stuck in his throat.
Yeah, I wish I could imitate that noise because it's perfect. Well, it walks in and sees Moira on top of her dad.
But she sees the old version.
Yeah, she's like,
Moira.
ooh.
And she's
disgusting.
Like, the woman is too stunned to speak.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what to do with that. They're running after her, like, Violet, wait.
Yeah.
And
like, you're going to
then-
make that better. She knows what you did to her mother. Mm-hmm. She knows what y'all have been through. She's been on the outside looking in. She's not on your side, dude.
It cuts to Violet at the school, and she's getting, like, attacked.
Okay,
Like,
so
she's
the bullies
getting-
are attacking her again.
Yeah,
Okay.
over the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Because at the end, this makes me happy, is that Violet picks up a cigarette and burns that bitch on the
she
arm.
burns her right in the arm. Okay, yeah. We see that Vivian has unveiled the mural, the whole mural, and it is devil themed. Did you notice that?
Wait.
There are demons all over that mural. After he saw Moira pleasing herself or whatever and he went to masturbate on the table, he cried after that.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention that. He cried.
What an idiot. Anyways.
Like,
here's the mural.
maybe if you, like, wouldn't do bad stuff, you wouldn't have to cry.
Did you see that? I mean, that was absolutely a demon.
Well, I don't know. Like, you know, I like creepy stuff.
It's very off-putting to me.
Makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
Like-
okay, so I just want to add this in then. Have you seen, like, the paintings of Lucifer? Like, they're beautiful. The paintings are beautiful. It's the one that I'm talking about is him, and he's got his wing, and he's crying, but he looks
Oh, and it's like
angry.
yeah.
That gives me weird feelings. I don't like it. It's a beautiful painting, but that gives me weird feelings.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, clearly, you look around, there's some weird stuff.
I'm not afraid to be in your house.
There's
though.
some weird
you know
stuff
what
going
I mean?
on, but I don't have any, like, devil,
Demonic.
like, I don't know.
It gives creepy feelings for a reason. I mean, it's meant to. And just like the theme song, just so we go back to that, the noises that theme song makes is made to give you anxiety.
Yeah.
It is to scare you, and there's a reason. Should we explain, like, some of your decor so people know?
Well, I would say Michael Myers and Ghostface.
Yeah.
Majority of it. There is some taxidermy I've, like, redone to make it more... I'm a deer hunter, and I killed that myself.
Yeah.
And then I have...
And the deer's black. The deer she has is just pitch black.
Yeah, I dyed that bitch by myself.
It looks good.
And then I have like some Chucky and Tiffany stuff. It's mostly Mikey's Michael Myers stuff. And then I do have, as Hazel was referring to earlier, I do have a oddity cabinet full of dead animals in jars. I have somebody's teeth. I found false teeth at my grandfather's barn, and I said, let me have them. I dug them right up out of the ground. I brought them home. And now they're in there. I have like a lot. I don't know. I just feel, you know that thing you see on Facebook all the time where it's like love the unloved, and it's like pictures of like rats and spiders and stuff. I just feel like that would describe me. Like I like things that people necessarily would not.
Like the outcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. That kind of describes our group. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why you're like, yeah, you know.
Well, that's us. I mean, you're not wrong. You're really not, because all of us have a little something wrong with us. Yeah. And a little weird. But it meshes well. Yeah. I think we do agree. Well.
And then Ben and Vivian are fighting.
Yeah, he comes in to try to help her take the wallpaper down. Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't tell her about Moira.
No.
Makes me mad.
He's automatically, I think that all this man thinks about is sex, because he immediately is complimenting her. You're beautiful. I think you're the prettiest like this.
Literally have that wrote down.
Immediately.
All he cares about,
have sex with her again,
is trying to have sex with her. That's all that this man cares about. But also, he enjoys other women's attention, or he would tell his wife, hey, the maid is trying to fuck me,
and we should fire her,
and we need to get rid of her. Because, and he, honestly, here's the thing, I would respect him so much more if he would just say, the maid is coming on to me, it's making me uncomfortable because I don't know if I can hold her off. Yeah. If he would just say, it's gonna affect our marriage if you don't get her out of here, I'm telling you this, I would respect him more. Yeah. I hate this character, and he never, not one time in this whole series or season, does he redeem himself for me. No. I hate him. She turns him down. Yeah. And he has a piss baby tantrum. Yep. He slings some table across the room.
I feel because like that might have been the first time that he's actually done that, though. Like, it doesn't strike me that he's ever been physical with her, because she kind of seemed like bewildered by that.
Yeah, she was like shocked. Whoa. Yeah. Also, you're gonna do that because she won't suck your dick? Yeah. Just beat that thing to death in front of the window, and now you want her to do it. Yeah. Like, get out of here. Give it a rest. Yeah. Get off of it.
Why can't you think of something else?
Oh, my God.
Why can't you help her in the home? I've not seen him lift a fucking finger.
No.
She's in here taking down all this wallpaper alone.
And this is when we learn that he had an affair with a student of his. Yep. A much younger student, which is what we were talking about earlier about Constance's comment about they buy them when you're young and pretty. Yep. And it's striking a chord.
He says, we've not had sex in almost a year.
And he knows the date. It was like October 25th.
October 20th. He almost blames it on the miscarriage, because he said statistically most men cheat on their wife after a miscarriage. Yeah. And it's like, the fuck?
No. I don't care.
That does not make it okay.
No. We've not had sex in a year. Almost a year. I wonder why. Yeah. I can't, like, be around you for 2 seconds and not imagine why your wife's not fucking you. I can see why she's not.
And she went through a traumatic, horrible thing.
And then had to walk in on you sleeping with somebody else.
Yeah. A young person. Like, what is wrong with you?
This is the part where the crying scenes are not good. Her crying acting is not good. And he says that the miscarriage was hard for him. We learned that the child was a little boy. Yeah. And he's like, my son died too. And then he's like, I don't know how to say this without it making me sound bad. And she's like, go ahead.
You got a dog.
I needed you, and you got a dog. That should have been me that you were cuddling up to every night.
How would you not laugh at that man for saying that?
She does.
Okay.
He says to her that they have handled the situations horribly. No, brother, you did.
You did. She was grieving, and you didn't give her time to grieve. And then they have sex.
Because she starts hitting him. Yeah. They have like angry sex, like makeup sex.
Like angry makeup sex.
And then Violet comes home with blood on her face. Yeah. And Vivian is like, what is going on?
I fell.
Yeah. And she's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then she's like, she also tells her she's not ratting. She's not going to rat. Vivian is dabbing her cuts and she's pulling the thing away. No blood is being removed from her face, nor is it on the pad.
It's just plumb dried.
That just makes me laugh. Violet says what we're all thinking is, why don't you get a divorce?
Yeah. And then Violet's talking to Tate about the bully. Right?
Yeah, about Lee. And she says she wants to kill her. Tate's encouraging it. Of course he is.
Yeah.
Because he's in therapy.
He's a psychopath
for wanting to kill
this
people.
point.
But she doesn't really know.
She doesn't know yet, yeah.
So he's encouraging it, and then he suggests that he's going to help her. And he's like, let's scare her.
Yeah, just a prank. And did you notice, for a brief second, it pops up and he says, helter skelter.
Yeah.
Really fast. So I wonder if it was like a Charles Manson
I think it
type
was.
deal where he is telling them to kill, but really he wants to kill.
Because if you think about it later, he orchestrates for the scaring scene. He is telling that thing to do it.
Yeah.
So it is, I think it is a Charles Manson thing. Violet goes up to Lee and is like, my note for this is that this is the cringiest scene. I hate this scene. I hate the way that she's talking. And it makes me, oh my God, it gives me chills. Because she's like, I'm a dealer and I got the best.
Yeah.
And it just, oh my God.
She doesn't have anything.
No, she doesn't.
She don't even know what she's talking about.
But she's trying to get her to come to her house to give her a free sample of drugs.
Cocaine.
Because Violet is a drug dealer. Also, girl, you're mad at Violet for smoking in public.
But you're doing cocaine.
But you're doing the booger sugar.
Booger sugar.
You are snorting that up your nose.
Yeah.
And you're mad about a cigarette. Vivian is lotioning up like any lady would do. And listen, when I get in that bed at night, I'm a slug. I'm slimy.
That's great.
I have to. I have to.
You're probably not going to have any wrinkles.
That's why I've made it to 31 and there ain't a wrinkle on this face.
Baby, I am
get
ate up with
Get a
crow's
magnifying glass and look. Okay, there ain't not one. What she thinks is Ben Harmon enters the room in that rubber suit.
And she's like, oh, round 2.
And she's like, you really want round 2? Gag me.
Yeah.
Gag me.
Also, though, Ben Harmon has bright blue eyes. That man had green eyes. How do you not know your husband's eye color?
It's the suit that Ben threw away.
Yeah.
So how's it back in the house?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about, I'm going to make a note for this later.
Okay.
But I have something I want to ask about that.
Okay.
We see that it's not Ben.
Right, because Ben is downstairs sleepwalking again like he's in a trance.
Mm-hmm. And he's turning the stove. And he's putting his hand over it.
Yeah,
like he's trying to burn himself. Keeps flashing back to Vivian and then Ben back again. And then we see Constance is somehow in the house.
In her nightgown.
Was she in a nightgown?
I'm pretty sure
I
she
thought
was
it was like an extravagant dress. Because she dresses weird anyway.
I thought it was a nightgown.
It might have been.
But she was like stopping him from burning himself. Like, how does she know what's going on?
And then she tells him it's not his time and to enjoy the house.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And he's almost like he's in a trance. And then we see that when we see Vivian again, it looks like she's in a trance too.
She almost looks scared.
Yeah, it's like she's kind of laying there like, what just happened to me?
Yeah, like she's having these vibes like something bad's happening.
Important later. She tells
she knows something's not right.
That she loves him.
Yeah. But then she's crying.
Is she crying?
She's crying.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Have Lee and Violet going down the basement steps. And Tate is sitting in a rocking chair, right?
Yeah, and like, why didn't Lee make Violet go first? Like, Violet is telling her round the corner, and she's just running. Like, she's booking it to get them drugs.
She's entitled. She's a bully.
True. And Tate is down there in a rocking chair, and he tells her to turn off the lights, and then they start like flashing.
Yes. What the heck was that thing?
I know. And then Tate is like, he starts laughing like maniacally.
Yes, he's rocking in that rocking chair.
Mm-hmm. And then we see that there's the person from earlier that we see with the twins is on top of Lee periodically. And then it changes to Tate's on top of her.
Yeah.
So we're unsure of like who's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Violet standing next to the lights the whole time. She couldn't just turn them back on. She starts getting freaked out, so she turns the light on.
Yeah.
And then we see the creature thing person slashes Lee's face.
Yeah.
And she runs off. And then Tate starts gaslighting her.
We were just joking.
Yeah, and she was like, what was that? I seen something. He's like, no, I've been sitting there the whole time.
He knows more, and he's hiding it from her.
He tells Tate to leave and that she never wants to see him again.
Yeah.
And then he also yells at her, I thought you
weren't afraid of anything.
Yeah. And then he has another tantrum, kind of. Mm-hmm. The way he's, like, acting.
I think he's wanting to show her something, but he doesn't know if she can handle it, maybe.
I think he was testing her to see what he could...
show her.
Yeah. What he could get away with. Yeah. So now we have Ben jogging. Mm-hmm. I wish he would have fell off that overpass. I wish a car would have hit him. And he's been followed by this guy, and we learn his name is Larry. So we're just going to call him
Harvey.
Larry.
He's the burn guy.
Yeah.
That he saw earlier when he was in the window and the burn guy was down in the linens.
Yeah, that's the same guy. How did he end up in the woods? He was on like an interstate. And you're being followed. Why'd you go in the woods? The guy gets out of the car and chases him through the woods. Larry now telling Ben that his family is in danger at that house. And he says that he has terminal brain cancer.
And he was released from prison because of that.
Yeah, and he said he was in prison for triple homicide. And he goes on to tell the story of how he killed his wife and his 2 children in that house, in Ben's house, by lighting them all on fire. And then he was also burnt in the process.
And he asked Ben, are you hearing the voices yet?
And are you sleepwalking?
I think Ben's kind of in denial at the time. He's like, no.
I think he doesn't want to admit to him
he is.
that
he
he's
absolutely
right.
is. Yeah, he's scared.
Also, Larry says that he lived in that house for 6 months, and then the voices started. He says that the voices are what was telling him to kill his family. Yeah. That they directed him what to do. Yeah, he mentions the sleepwalking, and Ben gets offended and tells him, don't come around me.
Yeah.
Don't come around me again.
I will put you in an institution.
He says he got out of jail because he had brain cancer. I don't think it works like that.
They don't actually do that.
No, that's not how jail works, Larry. And at the end of that scene, Larry smiles very creepily.
That creeped me out, too, because he was literally crying before because he was terrified for this family, but then he's smiling.
So it's manipulation. He's deceiving him. But why?
So he's not good?
But why?
So why would you try so hard to warn these people if it wasn't for a good reason?
Well, we figure out a little later.
Okay.
Larry's whole storyline infuriates me.
Okay. I don't remember, so I'm...
almost hate him as much as I hate Ben.
Can't wait to find out.
I know.
Okay.
Ooh, this next scene is one of my favorites. Like,
Moira and Constance. I love Constance. I don't care.
I do too, but like, sometimes she makes me mad.
I don't think she's showing the real her all the time either, though.
No.
I think that she is something totally different, and she's an actress most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because she said she come there to do that, and she's doing it behind the scenes.
Yes.
That makes sense. Constance is in Ben and Vivian's house.
Rifling through her jewelry.
And who let her in? How'd she get
always
in?
finds a way in, just like her freaking kid, I guess.
Like the apple don't fall far from the tree. And then we see Moira come in, and she says, put those fucking earrings down.
Yeah.
She says that this is her house, not yours.
Yeah, that's right.
She ate her up.
Yes, she did.
Constance tells Moira to be careful, because when things go missing, they blame the new maid. And then we see Constance walk out with those earrings that she complimented Vivian on earlier.
You can also tell that Moira's kind of uncomfortable by Constance. Because she kind of moves out of the way so Constance can get by.
And then as Constance is walking out, she tells Moira, don't make me kill you again. I love that line.
Mic drop. I love it.
I love it because it's like, what do you mean? You're going to give us that at the last minute of the episode? First episode did a lot to keep you hooked into wanting to know
what's next.
What is going on.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean kill you again? She's standing right there.
The very last part that I have in my notes, it's Vivian and Ben. They're in the kitchen. Vivian's like, okay, so for dinner I'm really craving Indian food. And Ben gets like a light bulb moment and he's like, but you only want Indian food when you're pregnant. And she like, confirms, I'm pregnant. So we know right there that it has to be some sort of time that's passed because they just had sex.
They've had sex twice. How much time? That was in the same
day. Yeah. You know, those 2 times they had sex.
And we're doing air quotes when we say that. But like, how much time has passed then? Because it had to have been 6 weeks.
Yeah, have to be. They're happy too. I mean, they're happy about it, right? maybe Ben's like, whoa. But
Yeah,
she's happy.
they
She's
start
smiling.
celebrating.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but if I had been cheated on and then the first time I have sex with you after you've cheated on me in a year and I get pregnant, it's an omen. That's something's not right.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, but also I might be delusional and be like, okay, it was meant to be.
Maybe so.
It'll go one or two ways. I don't know.
And then that's the credits.
That's the end of the episode. Preview for the next episode says Vivian and Violet find themselves in a dangerous situation eerily similar to a past event. Ben goes back to Boston to fix a mistake.
Okay.
So they are from Boston and they move to LA. This next episode is the nurse episode.
Oh, yeah. We will get into that next time.
Who is your favorite character so far? Or is it too early to tell? Constance?
Yeah, out of so far, I don't really like anybody else.
I'm gonna have to say Constance and Tate, but
Tate's a given.
I know. And I don't know, did you have a favorite scene? Mine is the one with Constance and Moira.
Yeah, it has to be the mic drop where Constance is like, you ain't shit, bitch.
She literally gives us a little piece of lore, and she doesn't even give us all of it. And I'm waiting for you to tell me more.
Yeah. One thing I really like is that Vivian shows more of, she wants to know more about the house. Like, she is trying to find out more. Violet doesn't really care, even though she was the one that wanted the house because people died there, but she's not done anything with that. And then Ben, he's just there.
I don't care about Ben.
You know what I'm saying? But Vivian, I feel like she is really trying to figure out what happened. Really interested in that mural. Because if it was me, I would have left the wallpaper. Because I wouldn't want to know what was under that.
See, if that had been me, the first thing I would have done is, this is just me being picky, but I do not like wood-colored wood. So that whole house would have been painted black or white.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been the first thing to go.
Also, we
that
should
wood.
say that Danielle's house is black and white.
My house is black and white and gray.
Yeah.
And then I have pops of color. Well,
it's tasteful, though.
My bedroom is purple.
Yeah.
It's Beetlejuice themed. But the rest of the house, I have it a neutral leaning blue toned gray so that it can go with everything. I can change out anything I want and it matches.
And she has black and white checkered tile in her kitchen. I think that is so cute.
Black cabinets that Hazel and Sabrina helped me paint.
That was so fun.
I know. Well, you want to do my bathroom?
Yeah.
I got 2 bathrooms in my laundry room.
We can do it.
I do not have millennial gray. It is not millennial gray.
Oh, yeah. It's not modern at all.
No, this is like dark.
It's a pretty color.
The whole thing with Violet and the house, I think that she just wanted, this is me, I'm on the Violet hate train, but she's just being a cringy teenager to be like,
yeah,
I live in a house that people were murdered in.
Yeah.
That's all she wants to do.
But she's actually scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's getting scared now.
Yeah.
I guess we should wrap this up then.
I guess that's it for our first episode.
All right. Bye.
Bye.